Hello, this is a recording of the Fall 2024 President's Meeting. So if you were not able to attend the live in-person meeting, and you let our office know, the Center for Student Involvement, then you are watching this in order to receive credit for having attended the meeting. So please watch through this and then fill out the accompanying attendance forms slash quiz with some questions regarding what is covered in this video. You will receive credit for that. If you have any questions about any of the content covered in this presentation, please feel free to email me at mmiller13@udayton.edu. But let's go ahead and get started. So, we're going to cover a few different things: a welcome back check-in, which we'll kind of skip over for this, and SGA funding, 1850 important updates, new checkpoints, and then we'll be done with that. So the CSI student organization staff members that help you out are going to be Gwen Fox Stump, my supervisor, myself, Morgan Miller, and then our business manager, Amy Freeman. Gwen and I kind of tackle the approval of organization events and other organization things, and then Amy is handling the financial side of is primarily handling the financial side of things for our organizations. We have created the Student Organization Resource Guide, also called the SORG, which is available on 1850. We handle event registrations, the spending and or receiving of money deposits, approving flyers for events or general needs for your organization. And whenever you guys have any questions about any of your organization activities, please feel free to come on in and ask or drop us an email. The University of Dayton has their commitment to community, and I believe that it is inherent to the reason why all of you are leaders within your organization, but also just it's integral to improving the experience that all of our organizations have and perform for the general community at the University of Dayton. So, committing ourselves to learn in and through community, we commit ourselves to respect the dignity of every person in thought, word, and action, and committing ourselves to practice solidarity in order to promote the common good. These are things that our organizations and you as leaders of those organizations facilitate for our larger campus community, as well as these are things to strive to attain as leaders of our campus community. There are a few things that we expect all of our recognized student organizations to do in order to maintain their recognized status. Keeping your organization up to date is the biggest thing that all of you can do in order to make sure that your organization will maintain its recognition past the time that you are shepherding your organization. Please read and review the Student Organization Resource Guide. Have your president and treasurer or other officer attend the officer meetings in the fall and spring semesters. So that's the president/officer meeting and the treasurer meeting each semester. You have to have an officer attend those. Register all of your organization events and activities. That includes any general business meetings all the way up through your largest events. Please register all of them. That is a requirement. The org checkpoints and re-recognition. At the end of each semester are the major checkpoints for your organization. Please fill those out when they open up. They are mandatory for your re-recognition in order to keep your status as a recognized organization. Information about those will be sent out in emails when they open up, and there can be information found about them in the Student Organization Resource Guide. There may be other checkpoints that the Center for Student Involvement does ask you all to complete. And if there are ever any questions about those, please feel free to reach out. So and we'll talk about a new kind of test of a checkpoint later on in this presentation. Meet regularly with your advisors and communicate ideas and plans for your org. Confirm that your advisor has completed the anti-hazing training. We'll talk about the anti-hazing training here in a second. Our advisors for our organizations don't really have a mandatory training to go through, and we don't really have requirements beyond the faculty and staff being full-time uh, members of our institution. However, it is up to you to communicate with your advisor and your advisor to communicate with you as to how much you want them involved within the organization. But at the very least, they should know what the big events that your organization is doing and what your organization plans are. Please make sure that you are keeping them informed. Read and keep record of emails sent to you by the CSI staff. Update the organization officer positions each semester after changes in officers, including faculty and staff advisors, and then visit CSI when you need help. We'll go over the officer positions and the changes in officers here in a minute. Hazing prevention. After the passing of Collins Law, the state of Ohio made a few requirements for all universities, one of which is the hazing prevention training. Before we go into how to check to make sure that your members and your officers and advisors have completed that, this is just a reminder to please know that reporting hazing is a community responsibility. There are a few ways that you can report it. If it is an emergency, please call public safety, call 911, and make your report. If it is a non-emergency, please call the Dean of Students Office, contact Community Standards and Civility, contact the Center for Student Involvement, contact Fraternity and Sorority Life. Any of those are fantastic options. If you are making a report, that does not mean that someone or anyone is getting in trouble in that moment. What this does is allows us to open up an investigation to then be able to find out what is going on, what's happening, if it is hazing, if it is not, and to be able to provide help to anyone who is needing it, who may be victimized by hazing action, or even if it is something else going on, we would be able to investigate and get that student help, or even assist the organization in making sure that what they are doing is not hazing or could be misconstrued as hazing. The reporting in of itself is not what gets people in trouble. It is the action, if they are hazing, that has gotten them in trouble. But you reporting is not what is doing that. So please be aware of that. Like, just because you make a report, it does not mean that you are at fault for whatever reason for that situation. If you don't want to talk to any of those, please contact your advisor, talk to an RA, any other university staff or faculty member, and so that way we can get that process, that investigation process started if need be. If you say something, say something. In order to check on the status of a member's hazing prevention training status, you can look at your members list, go to the list, and you'll see the hazing prevention tag underneath their name. It says Hazing Prevention 101. New students should have completed this during new student days. Students from, I believe, 2 years and older should have received this training at the time that it was made mandatory for all students to have completed it. This also goes for our faculty and staff members. Please make sure that your advisor also has this tag underneath their name in the members list of your organization. If they do not, please have them contact myself, Morgan Miller, or Evan Englander, our director of fraternity and sorority life, so that way we may check on the status of their hazing prevention training or provide to them the link to the training so that they can complete it now. The Student Organization Resource Guide has all of this information in it as well, and can be your first stop for questions if need be. It is available on 1850. It contains all the guidelines, policies, and procedures regarding the planning, registering, hosting, and evaluating of events, finances and funding, food and alcohol policies, and all the other general policies, such as if your organization is wanting to plan a 5K, if your organization is wanting to do a fundraiser and wants to get a dunk tank, tie-dye and painting, we have specific spots that you can do those. All of this information is within the SORG. There are timelines for organization recognition. There's an educational leadership workshops available. There is also an explanation of our accountability / standards of behaviors for organizations. So in order to find this student organization resource guide, if you go to 1850 and you scroll down, you can click on this green box right here, or you can click down here in the general organization forms, files, and files section of our student organization officer resources. But if you click on the SORG, it will bring you to this document, which you can then peruse and find exactly what you're looking for. All of the table of contents is clickable. So if you are looking specifically for the 5K guidelines, you can click on it here and it will jump you to that place in the document. All of the information that you are needing is here. So please check this out. If you have more questions after you have looked at the SORG, you feel free to stop by the Center for Student Involvement. But a lot of the times, some of the more detailed information that you're looking for can just be found here. So again, you can find it on 1850. Guest speakers, travel events, and events in the ballroom are all highlighted within the SORG. 1850 and the Campus Groups app. Be sure you do have the Campus Group app downloaded to your phone. That is the best way to scan any QR code that is being used in congruence with 1850. That includes linking to stores for fundraisers or bake sales and different things like that. But also checking into events using the Campus Groups app is going to be your best way to do that. You can find the Campus Groups app by going to your app store, searching Campus Groups. It has the little CG, a circle. You'll find University of Dayton, and you'll click on 1850 University of Dayton, space that you are looking for to be able to scan QR codes, find events, and different things on our campus. Once you get in, if you click on the top right, or on the bottom right, you'll find the menu, and then you can click on the QR code and scan QR code. This is not what your app looks like at this point. This is the default Campus Groups. So be aware that it might not look exactly like this, but the general layout is about the same. Be sure you are checking your emails and 1850. That is how we communicate with you. If your organization's officers are not up to date, we may be emailing the incorrect individuals, meaning that your organization has not been keeping itself up to date and is not keeping up with the practices that they need in order to maintain their recognition status. We communicate through email that is set up from 1850, dependent on who are listed as the officers in your organization. So please be sure that you're keeping an eye and keeping your organization up to date via 1850. We communicate the weekly student leader emails to all of our officers based off of the population of our officers listed on 1850. The weekly student leader emails get sent out every Tuesday evening, so be on the lookout for that. And then there are also chat windows in 1850 that we are using to communicate with students who have submitted events. If your event was submitted and hasn't been approved yet, there may be communication that our office is trying to get to you regarding changes in that event. If you are not keeping an eye on any of that communication, then we will not be able to get in touch with you and your event will not be approved. So, jumping over to 1850 real fast, if you're looking for these chats, they're at the top here. You would click on them and it will be brought to all of the possible chats on the left side, and you will be able to then communicate with us in a timely manner. Alrighty, so the group's officer page. Keeping your officer page updated for your organization is the best way to make sure that your group is receiving important information. Any officer of your organization can update this page. This includes your advisor. Your highly suggested to make any changes to the officer pages within the day of the elections. Just because you are adding new officers does not mean that you need to remove the old officers at that point, but we do ask that you ensure that the correct students are in their places by December 1st and May 1st, depending on when you elect new officers respectively. So, I'm going to jump over to 1850 again to talk about organization officers. We will look at the Center for Student Involvement as an example. So clicking on the Center for Student Involvement, your group page also looks like this. You would then click on officers. You will then see a list of all of the officers. You can scroll down and see them here. If you are needing to add an officer, you can add them through this page and this button. You'll go here and you type in an email. I know I'm already added, and then you'll type in the email is the best way. You can type in name if you know for sure how to spell it, but then you can add them that way. You can notify them that they are being added. You can click add and it will automatically add them as an officer of your organization. Now, in order to remove an officer, you would check the box, go to these dots and click delete. I'm not going to do that right now, but you can remove them just as easily. An officer of your organization can do all the same things that any other officer of your organization can do. If you have questions or need assistance in updating your officers list, please reach out to me so that I can assist you in that. I highly suggest also typing into the bio for that officer when they are elected to that role. So whether that's for the 24-25 academic year or for fall semester 2024, whatever you need to do, please make sure that some documentation around when that person is being put into that role is included. So financial information. Fall funding week is between August 26th and September 10th. If you have not submitted your fall funding request from SGA by now, I'm sorry, you will have missed the deadline. Organizations are eligible for up to $800 in funding and must be used within the semester as been granted, and it does not roll over. Special request funding is eligible for up to $1,000 annually and must apply for SGA fall funding first. And then if you're making a request in the spring for special request funding, your spring funding must have been also submitted prior to you being able to request that. Student engagement grants are available to individual students. They need to apply by September 10th for up to $200 a year towards individuals to help pay for dues and other costs associated with joining any organization if they have those. If you have questions, please email sgafinance@udayton.edu or visit KU 206. The financial form can be found under the Student Organization Financial Tool, which you'll click on and then enter into the tool to be able to follow step-by-step instructions for how to do anything from requesting funds to making purchases to just even accessing your FOPL string. If you are an officer who does not know what I mean by a FOPL and you are a president, please talk to your treasurer. If you are the treasurer and you do not know what I mean by FOPL, please contact Amy Freeman, our business manager here in the Center for Student Involvement. Event registration. What is considered an event? Anything you are doing to represent your organization or for the business of your organization. Please register it. If you're in doubt, if you're not sure if this event that your organization members are going to or hosting is an organization event, but you think it might be, but you're not sure, just register it anyway. You don't lose anything from registering the event. Register everything from the smallest meeting to the largest event. If you do not register your events, you are putting your organization recognition status in jeopardy. You must have 1850 approval for events. Make sure you connect with your advisor when planning the events to communicate questions and ask for help. Make sure that you are asking us for assistance if you are needing so. Approvals take time. There are over 200 active recognized student organizations with many different events throughout the year. So please make sure that you give us a little bit of grace in being sure that we can get to your events. If you put your events in early, you have more of a chance of us being able to approve them in a timely manner. Registering the event does not equal approved. If it is not approved and you have not talked to us here in the Center for Student Involvement, you cannot be hosting that event. To book space on campus, you can visit KU or 241 or call us in order to access any of our outdoor spaces or inside KU. For the Recplex, you can go to their website, email Ben Heller. For Art Street, you can email artstreetreservations@udayton.edu. There's also a website which is listed in the SORG that you can go to also make those sort of reservations. New this year, VWK and Adele, especially the McInnes Room, are booked through Housing and Residence Life. You can call them or email them, but they must be booked within a minimum of 10 business days before the event. For any classroom or other academic space on campus, you will utilize 25 Live. Do not wait till the last minute to register your events. Plan ahead. For events with external speakers, any guest speaker coming to campus that your organization is hosting needs at least 3 to 4 weeks. Students cannot advertise the event, sign up or RCP or sign any release agreements until the event is approved. Students should not be signing anything unless talking to the Center for Student Involvement first anyway, though. Student organizations are responsible for practicing safe and healthy decision-making behaviors at their events. Social media. Student organizations are expected to monitor the use of organizational social media accounts and maintain content that aligns with the values of the organization and the University of Dayton. Organizations using social media in ways inconsistent with university policy may face disciplinary sanctions or jeopardize recognized organizational privileges or standing with the university. Student organizations' social media accounts are not official university social media accounts, and organizations should make that clear on their social media accounts. All travel off campus, including Brown Street, needs to be registered on 1850. Event begins at the designated time that you leave campus and ends when you are back on campus. Overnight trips must always be non-alcoholic, and all students must RSVP to the event in order to travel to the event. Transportation. All drivers must have valid driver's licenses and insurance. Please make sure that you are completing the certification with the university, and also contact Sandra Harris if you are needing to rent anything such as vans. Risk management is something that we take very seriously here at the University of Dayton. We have about 12,000 students, including graduate students, 4,000 plus events every year, 200 plus organizations. We're all one UD community. It is up to each of us as individuals to ensure the safety of our campus and community. There are 5 types of risk that we deal with on a regular basis with our events: physical risks, emotional, reputational, facilities, and financial. Physical risks are fairly self-explanatory, anything that involves the physical person or any sort of bodily harm. Emotional is any sort of mental health issues, risks, or possible non-physical damage to individuals. Reputational involves your organization's reputation, your members' individual reputations, and the reputation of the university. Facilities is any space that your organization is using for said event. If you are outside, KU Field is a facility. Anything that you would be doing to the field in and of itself would be a risk for that facility. And then financial, that includes your organization funds, that includes the funds of your individual members, that includes the funds granted to you by Student Government Association. Anything along those lines, those are financial risks to be considered. That also includes property. I apologize for not mentioning that earlier, but personal property of your members could be a financial risk. No events except for study tables will be approved during study days, the weekend before exams, and the week of exams. So that is December 7th this year through December 13th. No events during Christmas on campus, which is going to be Friday, December 6th. You wouldn't be able to request any space anyway. October and 11th and November 8th are going to be your mid-semester member and officer audits. I will be talking about that shortly. Fall end of semester checkpoint will be open from starting November 22nd and will be due by December 17th. If your organization does not complete the end of semester checkpoint by December 17th, you are putting your recognition status at jeopardy. There will be some new checkpoints that we are trying out, and I do want to point out that this may change. There will be a mid-semester member and officer audit for each organization, and this will allow for CSI to track engagement and membership of our organizations to help identify any struggling organizations and or struggling students. This also allows us to contact correct officers if any issues or announcements are coming up. There have been issues with officers not being updated by the end of each semester. I do want to get something in the middle of the semester in order to make sure that we are able to still contact the correct officers. We will ask each organization to complete this mid-semester audit, and an audit will also be added to the end of semester checkpoint in order to track membership. We are not mandating a specific way that you do this. However, how you tackle it is up to you. I do suggest that you, in your registering of events, that you are checking people in and or out of those events and using that to help track how your membership is engaging. Or if you are really wanting to, have a sign-up sheet at your events for your organization members. But try to track how your organization membership is engaging with. Not every member of the organization has to be at every meeting for your organization. This is something I have been talking to a few different organizations about. So if your organization is going to be running into something along the lines of, for a fact your membership is not going to change between now and the end of the semester and or school year, or for a fact that not every one of your members really needs to be at every single event that your organization does, I am working on other ways and or I'm working on other paths to get the same information in a more streamlined manner from your organization. So you can track engagement across your different kinds of events. You can see when you have boosts to membership and when members may fall off. You can use this as an opportunity to survey your membership on other things like the types of events they want to see or how to improve the events that your organization puts on. And you can ask members why they joined and see if there are common themes that you can capitalize on. The way that you would do these last two things can be done on 1850. Create a survey. Ask them, how often are you attending events that you are needing to for the organization? What do you think about the organization? What are some ways you would improve it? What are some things you think the organization does well? This is another way that you can track membership. It doesn't need to be through events if you don't want it to be. It can be, are they actually going to engage with the organization when the organization asks? You will pick a date for your audit, the October 11th or November 8th. Your organization should be able to tell us each member's name, their class year, and when they joined their organization, and how, and this last question is the one that's kind of up in the air right now, how many events they have participated in with the organization. There, again, that is one that might not be necessary for every organization. So I am debating needing that information at the very least. But the other three, the member's name, the class year, and when they joined, absolutely vital information. You will submit your audit via 1850. There will be more instructions that will be sent out once you have picked your audit date, and I have provided and I have written out and provided those to you. Your organization will need to figure out how you want to track it. Use 1850, use a spreadsheet, ask us, come and ask us for help. We'll talk to you about it too. All right. Here is all of our contact information. My director, Gwen Fox Stump, myself, and Amy Freeman, our business manager. Again, please reach out to us if you have any questions. And thank you for watching the video. Please fill out the attendance form / quiz sheet that is attached to the video. And I hope to talk to all of you soon. Thank you.